He asked Job this question, pursuing the 32nd chapter, the 37th chapter, verse 18. This is the question that the Most High asked Job. Hast thou with him spread it out the sky, the firmaments? Because when you look at firmament, it takes you back to heavens and sky. So he said, pursuing to Job 37:18, hast thou with him spread it out the sky, talking about the Elohim, the Most High, and the Elohim. Hast thou with him spread it out the sky, the firmaments, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass? This is Job 37:18. So the firmaments that been placed above the waters, which is below us, and it's also waters above the firmament, is a gigantic, gigantic transparent glass, man. So there's no escaping the firmament. Right? The so-called white man like to tell lies and he tells you that basically that he's capable of space travel through NASA, because we're going to talk about NASA too, all right? That the so-called white man says that he went to space concerning Neil Armstrong in the year 1969, somewhere around July, that he went to space, that he set foot on the moon, which is total nonsense. Because I used to believe that the so-called white man, Neil Armstrong, actually traveled to the moon. But that's BS, that's nonsense, man. That's a damn lie. I think I even made videos concerning Neil Armstrong going to the moon. I'm going to have to take down those videos, because the Most High is slowly revealing to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the legitimate truth in the last days. Okay? Thank you, brother. So, but let's read Job 37:18 once again. Hast thou with him spread it out the molten sky, which is strong, and as a molten looking glass? Yeah, because you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you don't have no idea that you are under a big gigantic dome that's transparent. It's a big gigantic glass that you are dwelling under, man. And we're going to bring out the facts. So no so-called white man ain't went to no, he has not ever escaped the firmament. He has never traveled and broke through this firmament. It's impossible to break through this gigantic transparent glass that the Most High basically encompassed the earth with. And we're going to show you that. All right? How you doing, bro? So, this is what a lot of Israelites teach, because I used to teach this, man. And I want to say, Salakia, how about sitting outside? And I want to also say, any brothers and sisters that I have misled, I ask you to forgive me through the spirit of power of how about sitting outside concerning the space travel, concerning the so-called white man landing on the moon. I think I put that in a video called Metaphorical Biblical Names for the White Man. I put that in the video. I put a clip in the video concerning Obadiah. At the time, I was uninformed, and I apologize, okay, for my mistakes and things I said concerning Obadiah. We're going to show you what I said wrong, because at that particular time, I actually thought that space travel was capable. But no so-called white man ain't ever landing on no damn moon, and he ain't never went to space, because there is no space. There are no planets. Okay? That's all of that is irrelevant. All of that is lies. And we're going to show you. We're going to get to Obadiah, and we're going to show you. But before we get to that, let's go back to Genesis chapter 1 and continue on from verse 8. And the power was called the firmament, heaven, which he placed in the sky. And the evening and the morning were the second day. Verse 9 out of Genesis chapter 1. And the power said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. So he said, let the waters be gathered under the firmament to one place, and let dry land appear. Verse 10, and God called the dry land earth. So he made earth under the firmament, and gathering together the waters he called seas. He created different bodies of seas under the firmament. All right? And God saw that it was good. So all this took place under the firmament. Okay? Under that gigantic molten glass that's transparent that you cannot see. Verse 11 out of Genesis chapter 1. And the power said, let the earth bring forth grass and herbs and yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. Verse 12 out of Genesis chapter 1. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind. And the powers saw that it was good. Verse 13. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Now, we're going to deal with verse 14. Verse 14 is very significant from Genesis chapter 1. Let's see what happens. Because this is going to debunk the space doctrine. This is going to smash the space doctrine. If you believe in there's planets, and if you believe in there's basically Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune, and if you believe in that space, period, that's going to smash this doctrine, man. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. Now, before we go into verse 14, I'm going to read the definition of space. It says, space is a continuous area or an expanse that is free, available for. Space is a continuous area or expanse that is free, available, or unoccupied. Okay? Dealing with these different clusters and these planets. All right? We're going to show you that that's false, man. Genesis 1 and 14. And the power said, let there be lights in the firmament. So when he created the firmament, which is that gigantic, transparent molten glass that Job spoke about, when he created the firmaments, what did he do? It says, pursuing Genesis 1 and 14, he said, let there be lights in the firmament, not outside of the firmament. He said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So he said, let there be lights in the firmament. We're going to see what lights he put in the firmament. So the Most High didn't create no damn space and no Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, Mercury. That's bull. That's nonsense. He didn't create that, man. He created the lights in the firmament, not outside the firmament. Okay? Let's continue to move on. Genesis chapter 1, verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So the Most High created devices of light to give upon the earth in the firmaments, not outside. So ain't no so-called white man ever went outside the firmament, man. Ain't no so-called white man ever went outside this transparent molten glass. Because outside of the firmament is the heavens of heaven, which is the third heaven that no man, woman, child have ever seen. No man can ever go outside the firmament. We are in a gigantic, basically we are in on a flat surface, and we is in a gigantic dome, man. And no man has ever went outside that dome. Genesis 1, verse 16. And the power was made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. What was that greater light to rule the day? He created the sun in the firmament. Because they tell you that the sun is in space, and that is multiple times bigger than the earth. A big ball of burning gas that's in space that's multiple times bigger than the earth. That's bull, because the Bible tells you in Genesis 1 and 16 that he created two great lights, right? Where did he create those lights? In the firmament. Pursuant to Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, he said, let there be lights in the firmament, not outside the firmament. So there's no space, man, because ain't nobody ever went outside the firmament. So inside the firmament, you have the greater light, pursuant to Genesis 1 and 16. You have the greater light, which is the sun, to rule the day, okay, which shines for 12 hours, a.m. And then you have the lesser light to rule the night, which is the moon, which shines 12 hours, p.m. So, and he also created the stars. So what did he do in the firmament? He created the sun, he created the moon, and he created the stars in the firmament. Everything took place in the firmament. Why in the hell the so-called white man tells you that there are stars, there's clusters, there is a moon, there's sun? Why he tell you that this is in space? You cannot get outside the firmament. You are basically confined in a gigantic dome, man. So NASA lied, man. That's bull. Verse 17 out of Genesis chapter 1. And the power set them in the firmament of heavens. So they set those sun, moon, and stars in the firmament. Never said that they set them outside of the firmament. Because outside of the firmament is water, man. Outside of the firmament is the heavens of heavens. Outside of the firmament is where the celestial beings reside. Genesis chapter 1, verse 17. And God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. Genesis chapter 1, verse 18. To rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And the powers saw that it was good. Verse 19. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. We're going to show you that you blacks and Hispanics are living in a gigantic transparent glass, and that the earth is not three-dimensional, and that it's not a spirit, that the earth is two-dimensional, that you're living on a plane. We're going to get into that. Let's see what Flavius Josephus said in the book of Josephus, man. A historian of the Jews that recorded 70 AD destruction. Okay? Concerning this firmament. This is the book of Josephus. Flavius Josephus, who was a black man. He was a Jew from the tribe of Judah. He recorded 70 AD destruction. All right? He was an eyewitness of what happened during when General Vespasian and Titus destroyed Jerusalem temple in the year 70 AD. He also recorded many historical things concerning biblical matters. Flavius Josephus. Let's see what he said concerning the beginning of time. Okay, when the Elohim, the powers, created the elements in the beginning of time. Let's see what he said concerning the firmament. This is book 1, chapter 1. We're going to read from the first, we're going to read from book 1, chapter 1. We'll go all the way down from verse 27 and stop on verse 30. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But when the earth did not come into sight, but was covered with thick darkness, and a wind moved upon the surface, and God commanded that there should be light. Verse 28 out of chapter 1, book 1. And when that was made, he considered the whole mass and separated the light and the darkness. And the name he gave to one was night, and the other he called day. And he named the beginning of the lights and the time of rest, the evening and the morning. Verse 29 out of Flavius Josephus, book 1, chapter 1. And this was indeed the first day, but Moses said it was one day, the cause of which I'm able to give, okay, even now. But because I have promised to give such reasons of all things in a treason by itself, I shall put off its exposition till that time. Book 1, chapter 1, verse 30. And after this, on the second day, he placed the heaven over the whole world and separated it from other parts. And he determined and he determined it should stand by itself. Listen, people, listen to this. He also placed the crystalline firmament round it and put it together in a manner agreeable to the earth. That's Flavius Josephus, book, chapter 1, stopping on the 30th verse. Says, when the Most High created the earth, he placed the crystalline firmament round it and put it together in the manner of agreeable to the earth. So the Most High did what? He placed the crystalline firmament above the earth plane, man. That's Flavius Josephus. Okay? So it's a crystalline firmament that you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and all you other 17 nations that you are dwelling under. You are dwelling under a gigantic dome. That's why they call us domestic people. We are domestic people because we dwell in a dome. When you look at the root word of domestic, it's dome. Well, we are domestic people. Anything domestic is concerning inside. Like domestic cats, domestic dogs, domestic animals that you keep in the inside of your house. Okay, we are considered as domestic people. So what that tells you? That we are living in a gigantic dome, man.
It was on CNN, it's true. I seen it on Fox. It's real. It's bullshit.
Okay. Let's look at Isaiah 40 and 22. Because a lot of Hebrew brothers go here to try to prove that the earth is three-dimensional, that the earth is circular. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and that spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Now, a lot of you Hebrew brothers, when you go here, what you focus on is when it says, is he that, pursuing to Isaiah 40 and 22, is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. Automatically, you think that a circle, basically, you think that a circle is a ball. Because that's how we reason it. When you say a circle, you automatically think it's a ball, like in the form of a basketball, baseball, tennis ball. You think circle is just automatically connects you to a ball. But a circle is not a ball, man. A circle is two-dimensional, okay? A circle is two-dimensional. A ball is three-dimensional, okay? So a circle is not a ball, man.